Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Surrey Esports semi-finals day one. We got ourselves Team Toke taking on sweet Rhyhorn. My name is Hiprain. Joining me on the casting desk today is Foxhound. Foxhound, how are you doing?
Thank God it is Friday and I am more than ready for what is no doubt going to be another fantastic game, from the Surrey Esports League.
Yeah, I'm very excited actually. Team Toke, surprisingly strong last week, Ultralix, picking up the Zac jungle and just basically camping Kozura, getting him nice and fed. Emma gets stoned. Pretty much stoned her enemy laner to death. Skins Aurelian Knights are a relatively even matchup here actually on the overall side of it. So we're just going to get ourselves into game, into picks and bans. Okay, streamer's already ahead of me on that one.
That's fine, don't worry, we got this. We're professionals, we know exactly what we're doing. Right? That'll work, whatever, it's Friday, you know.
I think our lane to keep the eye on is going to be the top lane.
Yes.
Kozura versus Faz. Kozura very, very strong last week. Maybe not so much this week. I'm just going to turn my sound down so we don't hear everything that goes on.
Yeah.
Maybe against Faz, because obviously against Ultima Cloud last week, it was a relatively even matchup actually. Ultima not looking quite as dominant on the Poppy, which is one of his main characters. But Kozura picking up the Yorick and actually completely crushing House of it. He was like 7 and I can't remember what his score was. It was pretty horrible. It was on that point where actually Yorick is strong and unkillable. Looking at the bans coming through, we've had a Lee Sin and a fresh ban. Syndra coming through is the other ban. Not an entirely unexpected mid lane. Look at Emma getting stoned. Emma gets stoned.
You got
this.
Getting,
I'm falling apart. Emma gets stoned. Actually getting target banned here pretty hard in the mid lane.
Getting rid of that Syndra, getting rid of that Orianna, these very high burst champions who just like to sit the back lines, the back lines and just punch in damage. Orianna, we've seen so much of that recently, and it's the shockwave is so good for team fights. There's another really strong mid lane ban on that Cassiopeia as well.
Well, the Orianna and the Syndra out that does open up Cassiopeia as a potential mid laner, so they're going to take that away. Maybe Emma Stone doesn't want to be playing the Cassiopeia. Lots and lots of mid lane attention, so maybe that's where we're going to see the junglers going. Vel'Koz is the third and final ban, so that's 4 mid lane bans.
Yeah.
Don't often see that many mid lane bans.
Poor Lee Sin sitting there in the corner as well.
And actually, Kozura takes up the Shen. Not an entirely unexpected pick by him. He does play a bit of Shen. That opens up Gnar. Jace is still in the game as well. I actually think Jace would completely crush that top lane, and I don't unexpect him to see that go through. But actually, Faz was going in with the install Maokai, so
he probably just got his victory skin. That's all he wants, just to shut off. But no, obviously Maokai is a hugely strong top laner. The biggest thing about him is his ultimate. He's so strong in team fights because it just takes away, I think it's 20% of all damage put onto people in that field. It just means that should a big team fight come out, should there be a lot of burst, someone like a Caitlyn sitting at the back with the Rune and Hurricane, you can just stop so much of that damage. And
especially because Heliosynth really likes to play the Ezreal, really likes to play the Lucian. So characters who actually stay, I mean, Ezreal a little bit of a, I reckon that's going to be a Rengar. It's going to be a tank Rengar.
Can we not just have the Vi, because I love Vi?
No. It's
no, wait, it's not been picked. I read that so wrong. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
So this is something I can talk about. But yeah, sorry.
We'll get back. You can talk about Vi in a second.
All the
Heliosynth likes to play Ezreal and Lucian. They're his kind of 2 big guys. He also plays a bit of Jhin. So if they want to pick it up in this round, this is the time to do it and deny that pick, because that's actually a strong AD carry into this comp. Can chip through the Vi, can chip through the Maokai.
Yeah.
Now talk about Vi.
Well, I was also going to say the Jhin would be a great opportunity, because with someone like a Shen on the team, we're maybe going to see quite a CC heavy comp, which enables a Jhin so well because you can just keep everyone away from him. Vi, yeah, there's not a lot to say. I absolutely love Vi. In fact, there is a lot to say. She's got really good initiation. You can build her a really nice hybrid. Sweet Rhyhorn looking to go for quite a sweet tanking team at the minute. They've got the Vi, they've got the Maokai on the top lane. What Vi's going to allow them to do is go completely hybrid like that.
Well, there's a front line completed for Team Toke. They've got themselves a Shen and a Zac on the front, so bad communication will lead into it. Let's bounce, splitting everyone apart so Kozura can't get the taunt on. You want to get that taunt in first. Then once the taunt's worn off, then Taylor in the elastic slingshot and let's bounce. If they layer the CC like that, that's going to be a devastating team fight. Emma gets stoned, picking up the Yasuo. The Twisted Fate. Yasuo's been hovered on the other side. Twisted Fate coming through. a team pick AD mid laner. So nothing really on the team fight, and there is the answer for the team fight on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn. They take the Victor. Victor is incredibly strong in these team fights. So we've got ourselves a pick comp on the side of Team Toke, especially with that Jhin getting locked in, and Sweet Rhyhorn taking a more of a team fight comp. I mean, they need to have something, maybe like a Lulu, maybe something like a Janna, something to keep him Peel alive. The Nami's a good pick because that now steals that away from Vayne, sorry. So that's one of those kind of peel and protect supports out. Let's see if they stick with that, though.
Yeah, I would like to see a very, very supporty support on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn. Really, what we want is someone who can just get in the way of things like Zac, like Shen. Alistair, as I was about to say, obviously with this new trample mechanic. A Brom would also be useful just for the Twisted Fate cards and things like that. Leona, not quite what I would look for, just because he's very engage heavy. But what Sweet Rhyhorn are going to find really nicely here is each member of that team is just going to be able to sit on someone of Team Toke and just keep them locked down, keep them out of the way. That's going to let Aurelion Knight just mow through the team on that Victor.
Yeah, the Alistair is not overall a bad pick. Obviously, he can't spam Triumph of Raw. It's his passive. So it's not going to be quite up as much. It's not going to be that constant healing in lane versus Sam Seaburn is going to be using the even flow to keep Heliosynth topped up in lane. That's a very easy to push out a lane comp in that bot lane. So if Sam Seaburn go aggressive in the early game, use the ebb and flow, use the range that Jhin and Nami have over the Vayne Alistair, they actually will get themselves a CS lead and get themselves an advantage in that lane. But there's very little team fight on the side of Team Toke here. Only really the Zac leading towards that.
I mean, what you were saying about Sam Seaborn and Heliosynth can be very easy to push out. Seaborn's going to have to really be on it with those bubbles to the point where when the Alistair headbutt pulverize, and as he will, you want to be looking to bubble the Vayne, not the Alistair. It is so easy to pull that trigger on the advancing Alistair. What you want to do is, as soon as that CC lands on Heliosynth, because that is going to be who Alistair's looking to put it onto.
The range is going to be hard for him to get there.
Yes,
that's the point. Is if he gets on top, that's a murder. That's a murder comp there in the bot lane. Alistair Vayne is so much kill pressure, but Nami Jhin is so much poke and just keep away from us. If they take too much poke and then they go for engage, the damage that Jhin can put out, Jin's damage is ridiculously strong at all points in the game because of that fourth shot he's got. That mechanic does lend him so much extra damage. The way they can layer their burst out is going to completely outscale Vayne. Well, not outscale Vayne. Vayne will outscale him, but it will outscale that early lane.
Yes.
They'll have that advantage then. So that's when Heliosynth and Sam Seaburn need to be on top. They need to poke and they need to get their advantages in the early game. Otherwise, Defilement on that Vayne will completely take over this game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm a jungle main, so I'm a little bit biased towards what happens in the jungle, but I'm really interested to see about the ganking paths of these junglers. Both of them have very, very similar types of champions to gank. For example, XXD is going to have a problem with going on tanks. His bot lane gank is going to be stopped by CC. It's going to be the same with Ultralex. I think we're going to see a huge focus on the mid lane. What Ultralex is going to want to do is get Emma stoned to level 6 as soon as possible, so she can start just roaming around the map.
Well, Ultralex on that Zac actually has better ganking than Vi. The problem with Vi is she either has to cross over a wall with a Vault Breaker, or she has to use that in the actual gank, and that's what you want to be looking to do on the Vi. But then that's kind of like you have to take telegraphed routes. When Zac's main strength is the fact that the more you level up the elastic slingshot, the further he travels. I
want to see those reverse ganks from Zac. I really want to see him coming over that back wall.
Almost like a Rek'Sai.
Exactly, yeah. What Defilement is going to be doing is constantly sticking behind Alistair. That's why I want to see Ultralex constantly ganking from that back.
He has to be careful, though. If he does that, he is then prone to a condemn into the wall. And has to headbutt to the face, a headbutt under tower, a pulverize.
Just drag him away.
So he has to be careful of that. So, yes, that is how they want to play those ganks. But then Sam Seaburn and Heliosynth need to be on point. They need to be able to land that CC, land that bubble. Make sure that Ultralex, as soon as he come in with that initial knock-up, that the damage and the follow-up is there. Otherwise, he will just get blown up. if they're farming comfortably in lane and he comes in for a gank, it's not like the kind of gank where you walk in and you go, oh, jungle flash away. He will get CC'd and he will get killed. He will at least get his passive pat. Passive pat?
Passive pat.
Yeah. Passive pop.
Peter Pepper, passive peppers, or whatever it is. I know exactly what you're talking about. And obviously, if the passive pops on the side of Ultralex in the middle of the lane, that's going to be terrifying, especially with the Vayne and Alistair. They're just going to keep Seaborn as far away as possible, so he's not going to be able to help out with SDC.
Good job, Nightbot, asking someone to dance. That's a link.
Well, we're as confused as
maybe that's
else.
Something else. Okay, don't worry. We got the chat open, guys, so if you want to talk to us, ask us any questions about the comps, we are open to give you these answers. Gives us something to do as well while we're casting these games.
Especially in these quite slow early games. This early game in the mid lane is what I'm going to be really interested in. Twisted Fate lacks a lot of early game damage. Victor has a very delayed power spike due to having to buy those hex cores. One of the big things I want to see from Twisted Fate is using Destiny to get into other lanes at the same time Ultralix is ganking. Basically, if Emma gets stoned, he's in the right place at the right time, using Destiny in the right way. It's going to scale so quickly. However, what you have to remember is for every time Emma gets stoned leaves lane without pushing a wave in, without getting rid of a tower, that's just free farm for Victor. Aurelion Knight is going to be able to clear waves so much faster, and that's going to be real problems when it comes to the Destiny stage. So I would really like to see Ultralix focus this mid lane just to get Victor back as far possible to allow Twisted Fate to be able to go on those roams.
Yeah, and remember, this is a point that we always make about Victor. He has a very expensive first back. He has to back on 1,250 gold so he can get that first hex core upgrade. Twisted Fate can punish him super hard in lane, especially early, because obviously Victor's damage doesn't start scaling until he gets those couple of hex core items. Obviously, the trading with the shield on the Siphon Power is pretty big for him, but Twisted Fate can gold card him, throw the wild cards, one auto attack, and that's that Thunderlord's proc. When Victor has to kind of land his combo a little bit more aggressively there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded onto the rift. Team Toke are going to take on first semi-final of this tournament. Let us know in the Twitch chat who you think are going to win. Also, if you have any questions, post them in there. Me and Foxhound will be obliged to answer.
Absolutely. Maybe. Are Team Toke going to use the Summoner's Lift to ascend themselves to greatness on today's fight, or a sweet Rhyhorn going to stick a real cog in the gears there, a wrench in the gears, sorry, and prevent that lift from lifting them forward? Do let us know in the chat who you think's going to win. Are we going to see a complete sweep? Are we going to see a fight back reverse sweep? Are we going to get to that all-inclusive final game? Big push forward here. Looked like they were just scouting though. From these first games, you're rarely going to see any invades, just because teams are going to look to just sort of see what the other team is up to. Yeah. You don't want to risk it all on this.
Yeah, you don't want to put yourself that first loss behind. Sam Seaburn hasn't actually bought an item yet. I don't know if he's been aware of this yet. Hopefully that's a spectator bug, but I don't think it is.
Strat. Yeah, that no item strat in the lane.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work out for him.
I remember one of my rank games, I forgot to buy any items at first on Caitlyn. I wasn't paying attention. I was on Skype to you actually, so that's probably why. And I didn't realise until minions were already there, and obviously the team's flaming me, and I was like, "Oh, it's a new strat." I saw Uber Danger do it. It works, and somehow managed to get a triple kill off the back of a gank. I was like, see, I can get my Infinity Edge straight away.
Yeah, don't do that at home.
No, please don't. Not in my games, anyway.
Well, starting on the red buff. Obviously, since we last casted, I believe. Yes, this is the new patch.
This is the new patch.
Yeah. So yes. Sorry, I was trying to remember when season. I don't know what was last week. Last week was the new patch as well, actually. So
it was.
Nothing to expect.
Yeah, it was.
Emma gets stones, gets the blue cards. Actually, misses the wrong card. This is quite a decent top lane for Kojiro, because they could have picked the Jace, they could have picked the Kennen, they could have picked the range.
Yeah, I was going to say I really wanted to see the Kennen.
But that does also give Kojiro the ability to farm in lane. However,
yeah,
he's going to have to be a little bit careful as he takes a Q to the face. Not running grasp, me on dying on this. Oh, he is running grasp. Sorry, I thought he'd already stacked the grasp. Missing a lot of CS though.
Yeah, we're already starting to see those
That's going to be
deficits
the
come along.
taunt coming forward, and he does get rooted in by Twisted Advance. Popped up with the Arcane Smash. Kojira needs to be a little bit careful.
Very low. This is a very bad position. He doesn't want to be leaving Fax in lane. I mean, that trade went so poorly for him. He's so low. He's already starting to slip behind on that CS. Yeah, okay, it's only 2 CS at the minute, but that differential is going to
Stone's going to get the first gank.
Very early.
Gold cards, wild cards. The Alex bounce does not land, and neither does the punch forward from Ultralex. But they're trying to get themselves that lane pressure. Aurelian might actually running the exhaust on the Victor.
Yeah, a lot of Victors take it now. They either take the Ghost to get
Ghost
away,
I would have thought was better.
exhaust.
Ghost or Cleanse into this. That's going to be the first knock off in this bot lane. So healed back up. Bubble goes wide, but Helio Sims gets the 4 shot on the dancing
Good
grenade.
trade, yeah, very good trade.
Ultralex has to be a little bit careful in his jungle. However, Kojira is coming down. XDXD could actually land enough to pop his passive. There's going to be Elastic Swing Shot. There's going to be the taunt from Kojira, and that's going to burn XDXD's passive down. The red buff is ticking away, but it looks like he actually might get himself out of here as Ultralex holding onto his passive. Kojira trying to land the damage in here, but it looks like Faz could just turn it. He's going to pop passive onto Kojira. He's going to Twisted Advance forward. That looks like we might get ourselves the kill here. Flash comes through first blood, and that's going to be a double kill onto XDXD.
Then when you want to build a hybrid, heavy, bruising, unfair bully of a jungler, that is exactly what you want to happen in that jungle. They invested so much chasing that, and really, once XXD burnt the flash to get out, that's when they should have gone, okay, yeah, we got the flash. That's a big part of Vi's initiation kit. She doesn't want to use the Bolt Breaker straight away. Chasing that, unfortunately, the timing was just a little bit off, and both Kojira, who was already behind in his lane, and Ultralex fall off the wagon there.
The worst thing about that was actually, it was like, oh, they popped Ultralex passive, that's not the end of the world. But actually, the fact he was in passive form was what allowed them to kill Kojira, because the Bolt Breaker hit the blob, the blob, and then because that gave it that extra range, so then it landed out hitting onto Kojira and dropping him. They overchase really, really hard there, and that they're going to get punished super hard for that. Heliosimp's down in CS as well in his bot lane, and he's got the wave pushing away from him.
Yeah, at the minute we're starting to see, I mean, especially, of course, with that double kill coming out onto XXD, we're starting to see that differential really start to take off. The only lane that is ahead on the side of Team Toke is the mid lane with Emma Got Stone, and she's only ahead by 1 or 2 CS. As soon as she backs, that's an entire wave there for Victor.
Well, Victor still needs to farm a little bit more before he can get his next item, as XDXD goes straight onto Kojira, pops
No, he doesn't
so
have
much
the
damage out,
flash.
has the Warhammer available to him, and he's just going to get dropped by Faz. That was a really strong engage there in the top lane.
Gifting the kill over to Faz. Gifting the kill over to the top laner, XXD. He's just starting to spread the love a bit with those kills. There's no point putting all your kills onto one person. They're now looking to power this down, which is once again put Ultralex out of the jungle. Every time he leaves the jungle, that's farm he's slipping behind on, and he might
straight
get
on the tower. Elastic Swing Shot comes forward as XDXD takes tower shots. He's going to take 2. That's going to be the shutdown coming through. So actually, gold game there was pretty good as Heliosimp gets knocked off. The bubble was perfect from Sam Seaburn, making sure that his support stays alive. Heal's going to come through as well there, so trade pretty even here in this bot lane.
Until you start getting the gankers involved, this bot lane is going to be a lot like this. Unless Defilement can get a good condemn off, this bot lane is going to be a lot of heavy poke, followed by, oh god, quick, we better heal each other up. That's just the kind of way that a Jhin Nami is going to go into a Vayne Alistair. It's going to be really, really interesting to see these guys play from behind, because Team Toke tend to have either very, very good starts and go on to just absolutely crush, or they tend to have very, very bad starts and slip off a bit. They do find it hard to play behind. I've seen them do it before. Can they pull it out the hat now and just play from behind, be a little bit defensive?
A point to make is XDXD has his updated jungle item already. So yeah, he died and he got the shutdown onto Ultralex. He has now got his warrior enchantment and got the skirmisher saber.
Skirmishers, because he's already looking blood.
Yeah, he can go into the jungle really well here. San Seaburn gets engaged onto the bubble a little bit wide, but here comes Emma Gets Stone, throwing down the Destiny, throwing out the gold card. That's going to be the route from Heliosimph, pinning him in place. Hasn't quite got the shots available, but Emma Got Stone has the gold card, has the blue card, throws out one more, and Emma Got Stone manages to get himself a kill. That's going to be the double kill onto the TF there. XDXD has Aurelion Knight, and they both have ultimate available to them. So let's see how this top lane's going to go. Just a little bit of trading. That's going to be the Vault Breaker charging up as they're going to go forward. Emma gets stoned. First to go into place as Chaos Storm comes down. That's going to be the ultimate, pinning him in place. And here comes Ultralix. Doesn't have access to his Lex bounce as the laser goes a little bit wide. There's going to be the Siphon Power. One more shot from Aurelion Knight might do it, but that's going to be the ultimate coming through.
Oh.
That's the shot. Heliosynth with the curtain call manages to get another shutdown onto XDXD. Toke putting up a fight. They're down, but they're not out here.
Not at all. Jin McAvoy of the hit film Wanted, bending the bullet.
Hojira!
Oh, man is so much fighting. He's finding it so hard to go up just because Maokai is just really starting to out-tank the damage he can put out at the moment. At this moment in time, he only has the Ruby Crystal and the Doran's Buckler.
Sorry, it's just the chat Emma gets done get wrecked, Brian.
Yeah, it's some personal attacks going to here, but yeah, Jin McAvoy bending the bullets around to just counter that 5 flash. Good reaction on the flash. Unfortunately, second shot from Jin was the one that got the kill there. Really, really nice play in the bot lane. You saw Ultralix come flying in at the end just to put that support in as well. Good timing on the Vault Breaker by XXD, waiting until Emma got stoned was as close to the jungle as possible.
And this is the power here that Team Toke have put together. They've got a Shen, they've got a TF. If someone throws down a fight, there can be 5 members on one spot before sweet Rhyhorn can even realize it. As XDXD is going to come in with a Vault Breaker, the ultimate's going to get thrown down from Faz. I don't think Kozra is going to live for long. He puts down the Spirit's Refuge, but I don't think he's going to do enough. Ultralix is coming in, and actually, that's going to be the Let's Bounce, pinning XDXD in place. He's going to take one more tower shot, running extremely low. There's the flash forward.
Oh.
Ultralix comes forward with a double kill.
Fantastic double kill. Unfortunately, him coming forward was actually what killed Kozira.
Kozira's not worth gold though, so it's alright.
E coming out from Vi actually went through Ultralix, Shaolin Monk style, and killed Kozira. However, making up for that, Ultralix said, I'll just get him the 2 assists, he'll be fine with that. Getting himself a double kill. We're now starting to see that gold differential close up once again.
Yeah, it's actually very, very close here. Considering that the team on their rank scale, actually, this is Sweet Rhyhorn's game. We're seeing Team Toke actually play around this very well. They're managing their lane assignment. Yeah, Kozra is kind of getting stomped, and I'd like to see him finally building some magic resist, but he's just got a new magic mantle. Looks like he was trying to get himself that Burmese Cinder, so when he trades onto Faz, he can kind of burn him, but there's a Spirit Visage on Faz. Faz is healing from his passive is going to be massive here. And now XDXD is going to go into Emma Stone. Emma Stone does not have access to Flash, does have access to the gold card, throws out a couple of wild cards, manages to get himself out there. Kozra comes down for the back. Did have the ultimate available to him as well.
Yeah. One of the reasons that Kozira is having such a horrible time in this top lane is his vision control in that top lane has been abysmal. He's been timing his pushes so poorly with his vision. Every time XXD has come up to fight, we might see a gank here. Ultralix looking to get come over from the fog of war. Doesn't look like Aurelion Knight is going to be close enough there. He's just on the outside, but we might see it.
There's going to be the Elastic Central coming forward. Aurelion Knight running so low, but that's going to be XDXD popping the passive. He's from behind, shot on the blob. There's going to be the back kill. XDXD manages to shut down Ultralix, and now he's looking for him to get stunned. The gold card might be enough as the Spirit Refuge is going to come down. That's Stan United, sorry. He's going to taunt forward, but doesn't quite connect it. XDXD now manages to shut down his mid laner there. Kozra just kind of left him for the wayside, and now I don't think he's long for the world as XDXD going to throw down, going to get burned down just about. Kozra with the shutdown.
XXD is playing these initiations really well, but he's so thirsty. I'm not getting a lot of chance to. This is a lot of skirmishes breaking out.
Lots of skirmishes indeed. The Condemn doesn't quite connect, and Heliosynth does manage to pin Xrian, whatever you want to call him, in place. Heliosynth landing out the damage. The bubble goes a little bit wide onto Defilement. Fantastic tumble as Hiprain takes the last shot, and Heliosynth gets it. He's going to throw out the curtain call. 1 shot gets tumbled. 2 shots going to go through. They have found him. That is the 4th shot. Let's see if it can connect. Sam Seaford trying to get it. That's not going to be enough.
Try
Helios
to
Imp
predict
misses
another tumble. Remember, kids, just a little PSA from your friendly neighborhood Foxhound here. Towers do damage. Stop diving under them. Almost every death we've come out of this game, apart from Kojira in the top lane, has just been from bad tower dives. XXD is playing these initiations so well, and is then just following under tower.
And there's no armor to actually back
No!
up at all. There's a Spirit Specialist from Faz. He actually can't tank towers, but now XDXD is going to go in. It's going to get bubbled. Helios in for the flash, but the ultimate's going to come through. XDXD once again under tower, but he can get it. No, he's going to get dropped. Helios Imp is 3-0. That was a worth kill.
That really did manage to get it off. 8-5-1 on XXD. Tower is probably going to be my most valued player for this game. So many kills have come from the back of that. This is one of the problems that a damage start Vi has, is that Vi loves to dive towers. She's got a really good kit for it, but without the tank stat, she finds it so easy to just get locked up underneath. Looks like Team Toke are going to look to go for the Herald at this point.
I think that's a really good shout.
Yeah, Fax is on the heels of Kojira.
Yeah, he is indeed, but there is 3 down there. He's going to throw a ward, so they are aware that they're doing it. Going to throw a sapling out for a little bit. He's just helping them out. It looks like the entire team are aware of this, though, so they need to do this very quick. Emma gets stoned. There's also wasted and one of the gold cards there. That's going to be the Red Herald going down as Emma gets stoned, gets instantly targeted. Kojira needs to land a taunt as he goes on to 2. Emma gets stoned, secures 1. XD coming through the ledge bounce. That was the elastic slingshot. No, it was the ledge bounce.
It was the ledge bounce. It's fine. You've got this, man. You've got this. I believe you.
Takes a plant out to safety. They get themselves the Rift Herald. I don't think anyone did manage to pick it up. I'll have to double check that.
I'm not sure. They definitely secured the kill on it. I don't believe anyone. Oh, no.
Kojira.
So it is Kojira, isn't it?
Yeah, Kojira did get it. So
yeah, really smart to put it onto Kojira, even though I think in the heat of the battle there, it may have been a little bit dangerous. It's just going to give him the ability to not quite get crushed under his tower so much. He's going to have to watch out. Vi's going for that reverse fishhook gank once again.
Has ultimate available. That could be pretty devastating. I don't think Kojira is going to live for long. If he can land a good taunt, if he can land a good Spirit's Refuge, he isn't going to land
now, Fax taking the tower damage is a lot better than XXD taking the damage. As far as tank stats go, XXD has the Mercury traits. Fax has the Spirit's Visage and the Warden's Mail. Such thing because Kojira just got that buff. But first Tower Gold and, in fact, first Blood have gone over to Sweet Rhyhorn.
Yeah, and that's actually another Vault Breaker onto Ultralix, who only is stacking health at this point. That's going to be the Assault and Battery. Ultralix Elastic Slingshot does get shielded, and now XDXD running low. Flash forward from Kojira. Sorry, that wasn't a flash forward. I thought he flashed forward. He didn't, so maybe if he flashed, he would have closed the distance there.
Maybe, but Vi was so close for to that wall. It was good to just save it and just go for the risky business flash. Was saved by the Stand Beside Me there coming up. Stand United. Stand Beside Me is
Sounds
really,
like some anime
that's a really
title.
great film actually with a Phoenix in. But we'll save that for the movie stream. Kojira using the Stand United to keep Ultralix safe. Ultralix is having a problem as well where he's got Runic Echoes on Zac. Now AP Zac is hilarious. He does so much damage. However, I much prefer the Cinderhulk.
It's not a Runic, it's a Cinderhulk. Sorry.
Is it a Cinderhulk?
Yeah, that's a Cinderhulk.
Blimey, I'm colourblind.
Green
He's
is
got
Cinder.
the Cinderhulk. Oh, goodness, wow.
Blues damage.
Oh, people keep saying I need glasses. But hey, anyway, going into the new Raptor camp, there's so many chickens in there, completely taken down. That's the Cinderhulk doing that for you.
That's Zac, actually. Zac's base damage is super broken. So
it is, yes.
That's why you don't need to build AP on him.
Yes, it is very funny, but he has gone for the Cinderhulk. I can't tell, it's so tiny. Anyway, we're seeing a lot of skirmishes breaking up. Team Toke is doing really well to pull this back. Literally, the second I started saying, they do find it difficult to play from behind, they're using their comp so well. With the Destiny, with the Stand United, even with the Elastic Slingshot, it is so easy for someone to be somewhere at any given time. As soon as any fight breaks out, more members can just pile in.
Someone to keep your eye on as well, Heliosynth. He is 3-0 on the Jhin, a character who scales incredibly strong here. Kojira and Fax having a little battle for the Skittle Crab, but unfortunately Skittles is going to go down in Fax's favour. And now we're going to have XDXD coming in. There's going to be the charge forward. That's going to be Ultralix with turn gang. Let's bounce is there, and so is Destiny. Here's the TP coming through. Kojira does not have his ultimate available yet, but that's going to be 2 kills onto the Victor. Sorry, just the one, as Emma gets stones, now on the run, lands a gold card onto XDXD as he takes a shot over the wall, has popped Ghost to try and get out. The whole team are chasing him down. Ultralix forces the flash out of Aurelian Knight, and now they're turning the fight around the other way. Kojira holding onto his taunt, holding onto his flash. If he can land it on enough members, that's pretty big. Looks like with the fight, with the shutdown on Heliosynth, they're going to take themselves Cloud Drake.
Yeah, they're going to move over to it. Not a massively important Drake, but it's going to be really useful for XXD trying to just roam amongst the jungle there. Such a nice set of fights. They're now just going to try and crush forward to get that tower. And they're going to launch forward and just try and get something out of this. Some really nice fighting going along around that dragon buff. And they're just, everyone's going to move out of there. The problem is the TP and the Destiny were both just very far away. So by the time they managed to get in, it was just got to that point where the fight was starting to wane. Now, Heliosynth and...
Sorry, we're just trying to get the scoreboard up.
A little bit, yeah. Heliosynth and Seaborn down here, they really need to push out. Everything's being crushed in against them, and at this moment in time, while yes, Team Toke is certainly not down yet, they are struggling and just slowly being pushed backwards. Everyone's going to go into their jungle. We really need to see some more vision control coming out from Team Toke here. Look at the wards on the map. They've got a couple of control wards here and there around the Dragon Pit. When you say that to where the wards from Sweet Rhyhorn are, it's everywhere they're fighting. Every time they set up for a fight, they ward every entrance and exit towards it. So now they know that Team Toke are hanging around the Dragon Pit, and look at the net slowly closing. XXD might be the loose rung of that net, does just manage to escape the gaze of Ultralix on the way out there.
Yeah, doing a good job. XDXD has found Sam but was not aware of... Heliosynth gets the shutdown, 4-1 on the Jhin. This Jhin with the Infinity Edge first item. So when you play Jhin, there's a couple of things you can build. Sam Batiba with another bubble. Good job.
Get out of here.
Silly cow. With Jhin, you can kind of go that full crit damage and like just go into the like late game burst, or you can go for that early game, you know, Ghost Blade into Duskblade build, which is the more common build, but sometimes you see this Infinity Edge, this Essence Reaver build.
I love the Infinity Edge on him. It does a huge amount of power for him.
It's a better scaling build, actually, and it goes into this late game a lot stronger for them.
I know what XXD is doing, but with all this damage, you cannot afford to be making balls and dives like that. They had no information on where the team were. They knew that Ultralix was swimming around somewhere, and they've known that Seaborn has never left Heliosynth's side. So diving in on Seaborn like that, you know that Heliosynth is going to be somewhere around here. And with the team they've drafted, you really have to be careful about taking these fights on your own. XXD is becoming a victim to his own hubris here. With those dives, and with all the dives we're doing, yeah, he's on 10 kills, but he's got those 6 deaths, and they're steadily creeping up.
Needs not to get baited in. The Chaos Storm get thrown down. Ultralix is there. That's the Assault and Battery. Ultralix is trying to keep XXD alive. That's going to be the Stand United throwdown, and the Chaos Storm is wasted. Kojira with the taunt on the Faz. Doesn't at anyone else as XXD goes over the wall, takes one more gold card, and the Tidal Wave manages to interrupt the Alistair. What an outplay. What a play from Toke. And now we're going to have the Curtain Call. One shot, 2 shot. Can he land anymore? I don't know if he can. The bubble does hit Faz, and Ultralix is now going to get forced into passive form. Kojira coming through. Ultralix hanging onto his life. Kojira does miss it, but it looks like the whole teams are going to go through. That's the wombo combo. That's the one shit and one trick. And Team Toke come out.
Team Toke play that so nicely. Every time there's a fight, Emma gets stoned, saves that Destiny until the perfect moment. Every single time Aurelian Knight has tried to run away into the jungle, that's when Emma gets stoned, channels that Destiny. That's when he throws those tri-cards and just sears through the enemy team. And this is where Team Toke is winning these fights, on these poor engages. that Sweet Rhyhorn are trying to take. Every time Sweet Rhyhorn chase for a kill, they need to be prepared for it to be a full-on team fight.
They don't. They kind of just go, XXD will carry us. He's 7 and 10. He's 10 and 7.
It's creeping up. It's creeping up.
He's got 10 kills, but every time he gets a kill, he gets dropped. If he can get 1 or 2, that's when it's worth it, and that's why we're seeing this score come out like it is. But this full damage Vi, and he's built another Warhammer, so that's going to be a Black Cleaver, I assume, next. Maybe a Ghost Blade, but I assume a Black
more
Cleaver.
Likely to be a Cleaver to try and counter
that
the
armor
tank
shred, really.
pick up. But what you've got to remember about Vi is she doesn't have a single ability that does not involve her being in melee range. In fact, 2 of her abilities involve diving forward into that melee range. You're going to constantly be in war range, and that's what you need to prepare with, and that's why you build some tank on Vi.
And I mean, the ganks have been really good. One gold card goes through, and XXD is actually going to get a kill here. Elastic Slingshot once again goes a little bit wide as Ultralix now is going to get forced out. The Siphon Power, the Chaos Storm is enough. That's going to be him getting forced into passive mode. Let's see if XDXD teleports through. No, Kojiro is actually going to save his life with the teleport there. Elastic Slingshot, maybe not going to get used. I think that might be a little bit greedy as Faz is in the bush. Kojiro is going to get pinned in place with the Arcane Assault. Tidal Wave comes out to save his life. Kojiro needs to peel away there.
Yeah, bit of respect coming out from that Tidal Wave. I do agree with it. Once again, we see XXD dive so deep and just doesn't have the tank to stay around. Team Toke are really pulling this back really nicely in the fights, but they need to get some objectives. They have not put scratches at all on any of Sweet Rhyhorn's turrets. We can sit here and talk about how XXD is going in way too hard, how Fax is generally not there in the fight, but until Team Toke start taking some objectives, big slingshot coming in there.
He does land the fight as well. That's going to be a double man taunt as the exhaust is thrown down a bubble once again. Sam Seaborn is showing that he is Seaborn. Bubbles, really good job there. Heliosynth doesn't quite have the damage, got the rapid fire cannon, got the infinity edge, but XXD sitting in that top side jungle, and now it's gonna be a slingshot onto Defilement. Defilement is gonna get pinned in place. Really good snare. They accidentally hit the wrong person with the pushback. That's going to be Defilement with the kill. Those silver shots are doing so much damage. 2-man knockup. That's going to also be a fantastic ultimate. The Chaos Storm shreds through Heliosynth. And now Kojiro, not long for the world as the double kill comes through onto Aurelia Knight. Sam Seaborn on the run, and XXD doing a fantastic job of taking the towers in the top lane.
Yeah, XXD actually assassinated Emma Gets Stoned in that top lane as that fight was happening. I know we didn't really have a chance to speak about it. The big problem with that is it meant that Destiny was not up, and once again these objectives are falling. XXD is really going off on these towers. Bubble does connect, but it's just so late out, and this is the big problem. That was 2 towers and Emma Gets Stone's life from that push. Team Toke have this.
Ultralix, help your support, man.
Yeah.
Just run off the mid lane.
Team Toke have this big confidence. Goes in. There's just no one to follow it at this point, though, and he takes so much damage.
He has no magic resist.
He only has the Randuin's Omen as far as armor goes, and yeah, he has no magic resist. So Victor is going to cut through him. He's bought the Randuin's Omen to protect himself against Vi and against Vayne. The 2 deadly Vs coming out from Sweet Rhyhorn there. But you've still got a Victor on the team who at this point is picking up so much damage. Team Toke have this Stand United comp drawn. If they're taking fights, they need to use it. And that's the problem with someone like Emma Gets Stoned pushing so far. All this game, XXD has been ganking via reverse fish hooks. They should be ready for it now. They should know it's coming. Still, look at the wards. They're placed in such awkward positions.
Emma Gets Stone's now on the run. Got 3 people on top of her, no tower to go to. So she's actually peeling back towards Defilement, thinking she might be able to get it.
Banshee's Veil is going to stop anything.
Pop. That's the flash of Emma Gets Stoned, but the Assault and Battery is enough to follow it up. Let's see if the Condemned can pin them to safety. Stand behind me, used by Kojiro, really well played there, and now it's going to be the Arcane Assault coming straight onto Ultralix. Ultralix looking for the Elastic Slingshot, looking for the escape as Aurelia Knight does throw down the gravity field, does throw down the damage, and that's going to be Heliosynth pinning him in place, going to be able to clear the tower out and defend it for Team Toke. So the mid lane tower still yet to drop, hasn't quite opened the map up there.
One of the real problems about taking objectives for Team Toke is who have they got with reliable wave clear on their team. Heliosynth is doing so much for the team in terms of fights. He's been putting his abilities down in such nice places. In the fights they've taken, a lot of them they've won because of the feather stepping that Heliosynth has been exhibiting. But when it comes to trying to get things off towers, they don't have any reliable, quick and nice wave clear. Whereas on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn, Aurelian Knight can do it, Defilement can do it, XXD
we're gonna
can do it.
Emma gets dropped. That was the Chaos Storm thrown down by Aurelian Knight. So I'd say worth it because that is obviously one of their major picks, one of their major crowd control characters. Getting taken down as Ultralix hops through the Elastic Slingshot, and that's going to be Heliosynth instantly CC. Kozra with the Taunt under tower, and that's going to be the Let's Bounce onto free Ultralix. I don't think he's going to be long for the world. Doesn't have his passive, and Defilement does get pinned under tower, but there's going to be absolutely no way for them to follow up. Siphon power onto Heliosynth, as he's going to have to pop down the curtain call. Defilement takes one shot. The rest of the tanks take the rest of the shots. Heliosynth!
What did I tell you?
But in the meantime, XXD manages to drop the inhibitor tower. They defended valiantly for an outer tower and lose the inhibitor tower. Faz taking shots. Taunt doesn't quite connect. One more shot. Looks like we're going to have Heliosynth, cool off the assault onto Faz. Not worth it because XXD has gone missing from his sights.
They don't know where XXD is and they don't know where Defilement is. What did I say? Jin McAvoy bending the bullets around opponents to hit that. I'm so surprised that Maokai didn't manage to get in the way of that really, really strong tower dive. However, coming out from Sweet Rhyhorn, and once again, these towers are just being pushed in. Team Toke yet to get their first dragon. They're yet to get their first tower. Whereas on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn, that's 4 towers and 2 dragons, and the CS differential is huge, and you can see that in the builds of what people are building, in what people have obtained, Maokai is so tanky, Vi's doing so much damage, and there's just so much coming out from these teams.
Yeah, and a good point about this Vi is she's massively up in CS, 60 CS lead at this point. Yes, Heliosynth has the kill, so the gold is actually still 1,000 gold in favor of Heliosynth. That's yet another stand behind me, thrown down by Kozra to defend his team, who just seem to get caught constantly. Still in that cooldown reduction, so it's 126 seconds. 2 minutes.
Stand.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He teleports and it saves a life, and he's now going to teleport. But look at the inhibitor.
It does get crushed. It does get wasted. Gold card goes spawn to Defilement as he gets pinned in place. Heliosynth has to land the damage, has to land the shots. He does get dropped by him against Stone, but that was 2 members for none. Let's see if we're going to have Aurelian Knight does manage to get it, and the Redemption is thrown down a little bit too late. That's going to be the flash thrown down from Sam Seaborn, as he is going to get dropped extremely soon. No, the taunt might save his life. Aurelian Knight running extremely low. That's going to be the Deadly Flourish. Just about misses the curtain call. One shot. Let's see if he can land the next ones. Yes, he can. Heliosynth, the sniper.
But all the way through that, minions were pouring into the base. So they didn't even manage to save that inner turret. And they've lost one of the most important turrets in the game. The Nexus turret has fallen. They only have 1 turret on the side of that. And with this kind of team, this very, very heavy dive team that Sweet Rhyhorn has put together, that is not a position you want to be in.
And this all scales off the fact that they pressed they pressed their advantages in the lanes and got kills, but actually didn't follow up anything after the kills. Ultralix was doing fantastic at the beginning. Heliosynth put so much pressure down in his lane. Every time he got ganked on, he turned it around so well. But then they were so low because they were always on the counter engage, but they never really took any towers. They never finished everyone off, so someone was able to clear the way. Someone was able to defend. And that's why we see Sweet Rhyhorn actually take the advantage in this game, even though they played pretty sloppily in the early game.
Yeah, there was a lot of mistakes made, but where they made mistakes with certain things, what they didn't make mistakes with was their objective control. And they've been pushing for every single objective. There is a Mountain Drake up. It's been up for a little while, and that's the kind of thing I would really like to see Sweet Rhyhorn focus. It looks like we've gone over to it now. That's going to help them so much. You thought they were pushing towers before with the Mountain Drake behind them. They're going to push them even harder as it drops.
That is
so
the first
quickly.
Mountain Drake. So they've had 2 Cloud Drakes and a Mountain Drake. So they've been able to literally stick on people and rotate around the map so well. And now it looks like they're actually turning their eyes to Baron. They've got a Valley who's really fed. They've got a Vayne who's actually just scaled extremely well. Got the Phantom Dance, they've got the Static Shift, got the Infinity Edge. So they're going to be able to absolutely crush through this as the tidal wave comes down XXD. Let's see if they can get it. Can he get the steal? No, he can't, because that's going to be XXD with it. Let's Bounce goes on to free as Kozura doesn't quite land the taunt onto enough as Emma gets stoned, trying to get as much as he can. There's no Heliosynth by, and he doesn't have access to the curtain call yet, Kozura. And now it looks like they're on the defense, on the peel back, as that's going to be 2 for 0, and they got themselves enough advantages. Look at the damage Aurelian Knight can put out. He has that Crystal Scepter. He has the damage. Now the slows are applying, and Kozura going to get dropped so soon. Just gets out on the sliver of health as XXD comes up. Now we're going to have Defilement taking on Emma gets stoned in the top lane. Let's see if the gold card's enough. 1 gold card throws out the heal. He does have the backup of the
Run!
minions. Who can get it? It looks like Sweet Rhyhorn are going to take game 1 of the best of 3 as they drop the inhibitor tower, drop the Nexus. The Nexus is not long, and Aurelian Knight just drops Heliosynth. Convincing win here from Sweet Rhyhorn. Let's see if they can fix up those problems in the early game for the next round, or whether or not those weaknesses could get exploited.
I mean, one of the big things was that final fight at that Baron. One of the things we complimented on the side of Team Toke all the way through that game was they stacked their team fights really, really nicely. That last fight, I know they were trying to stop them to get Baron, but it was like a bad Kung Fu movie. Everyone in one at a time, and then what they did is they drove the wedge in and split Sweet Rhyhorn. And I was sitting there, I was like, this is it. They've split the team. This is where they're going to start taking it back. And then instead of sweeping to either the left or the right, what they did instead was just scatter, which is exactly what Sweet Rhyhorn wanted them to do. We were saying in that beginning, Sweet Rhyhorn had the team where each member could just sit on a single person. They would excel in the late game at those 1v1 duels. Really, really nice. I would normally give the most valued player to the Vi, the XXD.
Yeah, but
there
sloppy
was
tower dives.
so many sloppy tower dives.
And we'll wait to see how they shore it up, because we're going to give a MVP to the match player of the game. So we'll see who actually shows up at the end. It looks like that was Sweet Rhyhorn able to take down Team Toke. We've still got a best of 3, so it's not out, and the game was relatively even until that late game where Sweet Rhyhorn, once they got that kind of 25-minute mark, just started rolling over. Guys, we're going to take a short break as the teams get ready for their next round. Don't go anywhere.
So don't look back, it's in the past now. Don't look back, the fire's catching, and all that's left to do is watch. I can't hear a thing but your voice echoing, it plays again and again, telling me to run from everything you've done until we reach the start. The to trust. And yeah, you turned that gold to dust. We turned our back, we're making a move. And now the tide rolls out, but you dive in. Though you know that I can swim. Guess that gives me something to prove. Strong as hope, fight off our demons and never let them back into our jaded minds. So hurry now, the fire is catching, and all that's left to do is watch. Don't look back, the fire's catching, so don't look back. It's in the past now. Don't look back, the fire's catching, and all that's left to do is watch. I can't hear a thing but your voice echoing. It plays again and again, telling me to run from everything you've done until we reach the sun. We'll run, we'll run, we'll run until the sun. We'll run, we'll run, we'll run until the sun. We'll run, we'll run, we'll run until the sun. We'll run, we'll run, we'll run. All we know is crumbling right now. The king is dead, so now who wears his crown? We can make it now, we're on our own. We can find out, we can find out, we can find out where to go. I can't hear a thing but your voice echoing. It plays again and again, telling me to run from everything you've done.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Surrey Esports League of Legends Tournament semi-finals day one. It looks like Sweet Rhyhorn one win up over Team Toke. Very close game, although it kind of snowballed a little bit towards the end there.
Yeah, it was exceedingly well played from both teams. Team Toke drafted this really nice sort of stand united team comp where just every time a fight broke out in that early game, someone would be there to take the bullet, and it just allowed Heliosynth to go completely off on that Jhin. However, Sweet Rhyhorn just eventually out-tanked an XXD for all the really sloppy tower dives. Ended up being a real carry in that game. So a very convincing win from Sweet Rhyhorn. However, Team Toke have shown us many times that they can go down, but they won't necessarily go out without a complete fight.
Yeah, it kind of got to a point where I felt like Team Toke did fall apart a little bit. There were some really good taunts which then didn't land because a Let's Bounce would split the team apart.
Yeah.
There was one in that Baron pit where there were 4 people lined up, and then the Let's Bounce literally broke the team apart.
Well, yeah, it was
and Kozra ended up sliding through the middle of them.
Yeah, it was a tidal wave, a taunt, and a Let's Bounce all at the same time. And it was just the panic, oh god, stop them getting the Baron thing. But it's key moments like that where you cannot let your team unravel. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Victor ban come out.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Actually, no, I don't. Victor wasn't real threat. It's the Vi. They won XXD off the Lee Sin. Obviously, incredibly strong on that. Lee Sin is an incredibly strong champion. The Jhin man has come through this time. So actually, Defilement and I don't even know what we want to call
Vi
it. Xadian
is still up.
So actually, apart from one ban, that's actually the same picks and bans we had last game. Let's see what their first pick of the day will be.
I mean, there's always going to be a big fear over that Syndra. There's always going to be a big fear over people like that Orianna. Kennen is still available. It might be to... I mean, I understand what Kojiro was drafting towards in that last game, but something like the Kennen would have just allowed him to poke so well. Something like the Jace. The Jace was open, and so is the Cannon, and it was so weird to not see either of these players pick it up. It looks like we're going to get a Poppy on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn. Little Yordle does a lot for her teams. And actually locking in a Mumu, the cursed money.
Ultralix's main champion, actually, is a Mumu. So... not entirely a bad pick. Just going
on his big boy
just wants to go into those comfort picks. Kojiro are picking up the Victor, so I think they're picking up for Emma got stoned.
That's why we didn't see the ban.
Malphite. So they're looking for the team to actually blow people apart.
Charge comp. Look at this.
I wonder if that's going to be a Malphite jungle or a Poppy jungle. I assume it's a Poppy jungle.
I assume it will be a Poppy jungle. We've not seen a Malphite jungle for a long time. It is
I haven't
possible.
played it for a long time.
Yeah.
Aurelian Knight taking the Vise into the Victor as well.
Yeah. We're never going to see it in these games, but a really hilarious combo is Ryze and Nunu. Nunu starts channeling his absolute zero as Ryze starts the teleport and just puts him in the middle of the team as it goes off. It also works for Galio's ult as well. We're not going to see it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I saw one earlier where a Poppy hammered the enemy team away as their Ryze was trying to flank with an ultimate, and they were all really low, and then as they were flying over the Ryze ult, they got zapped in and then pulled back into the enemy team and then just got murdered by a Talon. Heliosynth actually picking up his comfort pick here, Lucian. So that's a blind pick. They haven't revealed, Sweet Rhyhorn haven't revealed their bot lane. They're about to do so. There's also a Rumble on the side of Kojiro. So
yeah, I love Rumble. He's fantastic. He better be playing that Super Galaxy skin.
It's a classic skin.
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty much it, isn't it? Caitlyn being hovered. Caitlyn and Karma go together like peanut butter and jam. They're so strong together. Caitlyn has that big mid-game power dip, and what a Karma does is her poke enables her to farm in safely. Zyra's going to do a similar sort of thing. If it's going for the Caitlyn, I would prefer the Karma, especially since in a comp like this, she's just going to provide so much more poke and a huge amount of shields in that late game. We are going to see the Caitlyn going. It's going to be followed by the Zyra.
So that's lane pressure they're going for. They know that they've got the late game team fight, so with the Zyra, with the Malphite there, and then obviously Caitlyn may have to pump the damage out. Braum is actually a relatively good pick with Lucian, but not into this comp. Obviously, they work really well together because of the way Lucian's passive works and the way Braum's passive works. They can just stack a stun super fast.
Winter's Light Slinger.
Yeah. But Defilement on the Caitlyn's got such a range that Sam Steven's going to lose most of his health before he gets there. I'd like to see something else come out to the Zyra. There's very few counters in the meta to Zyra. One of them is MF, but MF doesn't actually work with Lucian. She works with an Ashe.
Useful for poke again. Just going in to just try and keep people away.
Sam wasn't really poking in lane. We saw him being a very passive Nami. So actually, maybe the Braum, quite a passive support player, maybe the Braum's going to be better because that's the kind of team fight. In a team fight, he was placing his ultimates and placing his abilities really well.
Yeah. So what we're going to see as well is when you look at Team Toke do this a lot, they really like to have a lot of CC on their side and then a couple of key members who can just do some big, horrible, instant pentakill ult thing. So Kojiro on that Rumble, he has the Equalizer, the Drills of Defiance that can just burn down from the sky into a locked up team. That can actually be laid straight along the Braum ult. He's also got the Ryze, who not only can set up his own ults with the gravity field, but has a huge ult that can come into something that Ultralix can set up so easy. And all while that's happening, you've got Light Slinger going off, you've got the Culling being thrown down. They have got a very solid team on their side, actually, for that sort of late game burst team fight.
They've got a pretty decent team fight this time. They went for a pick comp last time, and they did kind of get beaten in the team fights, and that was where they fell over. They actually showed a lot of prowess and a lot of strength on the re-engage and the disengage.
Yes.
But when a proper 5-on-5 team fight broke out, they just got stomped. That's actually going to be a Malphite jungle. So we didn't talk about that. So 0 ganking pressure early versus a Mumu who actually has a really decent... Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be tank or the rower build.
I would like to see another tank. What worked really well for them in that last game is Maokai just became this brick wall that they couldn't punch through. Lucian is going to be the best person on that team to deal with tanks. If you've got two of them, it's going to make things so difficult for Team Toke to punch in and do their sort of big bursty combos.
Although the thing about Lucian is Lucian kind of hits a point where he stops getting so strong. Like
Yeah.
Caitlyn goes, she has a strong early, and then after about level 3, level 4, she just takes a massive power dip after the first back, and Lucian at that point starts to go crazy. They then kind of even out around that kind of late game point, like kind of level 15 area, when Caitlyn's got those kind of 2 items, those 3 items, and then suddenly out of nowhere, Lucian just stops doing anything, and Caitlyn just takes off and goes completely crazy.
Yeah.
So
one thing that they're really going to find, I think they're going to cinch this in the mid lane here, in the mid game here. Obviously, Sweet Rhyhorn have this huge amount of tank they can bring to the team, and obviously in the late game that's going to be absolutely horrific for people like Heliosyn to cut through. One of the big problems Team Toke are going to face is Kojira and Emma Get Stoned are going to do their best to just try and burst people as heavily as possible. If Rise is going to be quite healthy just because of the way his passive works, Malphite, if he goes tank, and Poppy is going to be quite tanky as well. That's 3 big chunks of health that you have to get through before your collective stuns wear off. Once those stuns wear off, Team Toke have got very little to keep going in that fight. And that's when you're going to see the Grasping Roots come out. That's when you're going to see the Unstoppable Onslaught and the Mjolnir Hammer from Poppy coming out as well.
Oh, yeah, all the points you made there were completely on point. I completely agree with you there.
Great, that's lovely. Let's go home then.
I didn't have Let's talk a little about how Heliosynth will build. He actually, on all of the champions he plays, he kind of likes to favour. They're not, I'd say they're off-meta builds, but they're still legitimate builds. He likes to play the Jhin. He likes to play a Lucian. 2 champions he like now scale. It's not lethality now, not armor pen, but they like to scale those kind of armor pen lethality builds. He actually still sticks with the old kind of, the big damage late game builds. So actually, one of the strong things is what I was saying about Heliosynth scaling off. It won't happen quite as dramatically as, let's say, a Ghostblade Black Cleaver Lucian, which is considered to be the stronger kind of Lucian. He'll go the Essence Reaver into Static Shiv build. No, that's his normal build on the Lucian. So actually, at the end of the day, yes, he will drop off compared to the Caitlyn, but he won't drop off quite as hard as if he went Ghostblade Black Cleaver.
Yeah.
Unless they want to try and take this early and try and take the win fast and outscale before the Caitlyn can do it.
Is when they're going to go for it. That's going to be the best one before Caitlyn can just sit 25 miles away on a grassy knoll and pop them all from a distance.
They don't have the Shen for that kind of insurance, though. If Malphite goes onto the team, they don't have that shield that they can lay down and defend the team. So, they will kind of lose that a little bit there. That's my only point on that, is the Rumble is going to be great in the team fight, but the Shen may have proved to be a little bit better to get straight onto that back and get that kind of... They have the Wombo. I think the Shen might have been a better pick than the Rumble, but obviously Poppy will completely destroy Shen in lane, when Rumble actually does pretty well into the Poppy, and he's running Thunderlords, so he's just going to sit on top of that flamethrower and just absolutely melt through him.
Now, one thing we see a problem with a lot of Rumbles, in fact, I saw it very recently last week, where if you've not constantly got one eye on that overheat meter, you're going to really struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, second game of the Rift. Team Toke versus Sweet Rhyhorn, who are looking for match point here. Let us know in the Twitch comments. Let us know all over the place who you think are going to take this game.
Well, Sweet Rhyhorn are on match point, but
yes, Sweet Rhyhorn are on it. That's what I said. I said they're on the match point.
They're looking for match point.
Yeah, that's what they get.
Looking for the win here.
I guess the tactic for them is going to be to try and win. I don't think the pause is part of their tactic. It's just a fake out. We're actually resuming straight away. Yes, so getting the match, they are on the match point. Yeah, okay, whatever. People are looking to win these games is the important thing to remember. We might see an invade come out. There is some heavy stacking. Emma Get Stoned looking to get ahead. Now, the same problems that we were speaking about Victor last game are going to apply. It's going to be delayed.
He make me a fair amount of damage. Heliosynth didn't unfortunately have his Lightslinger close enough, so they couldn't stun them in place. That could have been a kill if they'd done that. But Heliosynth hanging on to everything. I think he started with his Q first. I didn't quite see. So he's not going to actually have that dash, which if you're taking the dash, he'd close the difference. Get some damage out. Maybe get a flash out of the support, and then that's a gankable bot lane.
Yeah, it's going to open up that lane. Obviously, as you said, Amumu's going to be able to gank so much earlier than Malphite is. However, once Malphite hits level 6, his ganks are going to be absolutely horrific.
I'm interested to see how Malphite jungle works now. I haven't done Malphite jungle since last season, and it wasn't quite as strong as it used to be.
It was a please just let me get to level 6
but
jungler.
The clear is a little bit easier. They've patched the jungle camps, so they're a little bit easier for these off-meta junglers to do. So let's see how XD is going to do on that as we skip away. But I'm actually going to watch it because I'm interested.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have some private time over here at the Red Buff with XXD. Now, one of the things to remember... Yeah, struggling a bit. Does drop down, gets the smite for the health back, and there we see Kojiro just pushing forward into the wave using that flame splitter. Got to be careful with the use of it when you're using it to zone. One of the problems he had last game is he missed so much CS. I think it got to 3 minutes and there was already a 10 CS differential. He's got to be really cautious that flame splitter isn't just taking minions away that he could be having.
Yeah, he does need to be careful of that because it looks like again that's going to happen. Yep, he wastes it. Going for the poke actually loses the trade because the hammer shot lands on him, and then has missed a 6 minion. He's now 7-6, so he has picked himself up a couple at the end of that. Now he's got that harpoon, so I reckon we're going to see him farm up on that.
Yeah.
XD on the Malphite. It's going to have a very slow clear compared to Ultralix, who's already a couple of camps up on him there. He's also going to take himself the Rift Herald. That's going to be the kind of thing Kojiro wants to be doing, but he doesn't want to walk onto a hammer shot, which, again, just loses him the trade.
The problem is, especially in this early game, Kojiro is going to be able to put down more consistent damage, but Fax is going to be able to put down more damage. So Kojiro has to play this quite smart. He needs to ebb and flow back in and out there, and that's not what he's doing. He's crashing against Fax and just getting pushed back.
He also, for some reason, always seems to land an auto attack, which then pulls the minion attention. Now Kojiro has overheated himself and is trying to get as much damage onto Fax as he can.
It's
a little bit of a greedy trade on both sides there. Zema gets stones, picked up the Victor, and actually looking extremely strong on this Victor in compared to Aurelion Knight's Rise.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of farming indeed, and especially in that early game.
But Ultralix has come through, land the stun, there's one more attack, and Zadrian is going to get dropped. That's Helios in for first blood of the game. Now let's see if they can land anything else. No, Team Toke play that so much better than they played the first game, not getting too aggressive, and Kojiro landing both the harpoons, so trading very well there as well in that game.
Really nice. Coming forward to Helios again.
One more. Can he land it?
Not quite going to get it, but zoning so hard. He has taken a fair amount of damage, but he is stamping his mark on that lane. Really strong gank from Ultralix coming in. He's going for the fish hook.
Lands it one more time. That's going to be the farmer. One more auto attack away from getting stunned. Doesn't quite land it. Trying to put the pressure down. Did burn the flash that time, though.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the important thing. They're playing it so well. Kojiro is really struggling up here. Unfortunately, a gank going up top lane is not going to go quite as decisively as one going down lane, just because down in the bot lane, just because of what Poppy can do with her kit. Kojiro is struggling once again. The CS differential, we are 4 minutes in, is 22 to Poppy and 17 to Rumble. That's not a huge amount now, but remember how quickly that scaled out of control in the last game.
Yeah, and again,
and no wards again. No vision. No wards.
This was a weakness they had last set as well, where they weren't warding very well. Kojiro, obviously, he is running into Corrupting Potion. Now Fax has run out of his Corrupting Potion. There is life regen, obviously, on that Doran's shield, so that's the one thing Kojiro can take from this, but he's got to stop walking on the hammer shots.
He
keeps walking after Faz has placed it just to clear minions, so he takes a chunk of damage for no reason. It's a waste of a traded ability. And again, takes a buckler. It's going to miss all these minions under tower, or he's going to get a couple, but not the whole wave.
Yeah, Fax doing his best Captain America impression up there and just chucking the shield straight in.
Ultralix actually looking to go for a gank on this top lane. However, Kojiro is running extremely low. Emma gets pinned in place, and Malphite is there. Ultralix now takes a stun to the face, misses the long shot, and now it's going to be XD. XD coming in, throws down the seismic shard, needs one more auto attack. Kojiro has no flash, has no life as he gets dropped. Now Ultralix takes a seismic shard, gets out.
Almost a complete repeat of what happened last game. Ultralix ganked so strongly in the bot lane. He did that last game as well. Had to go up top to desperately try and take care of Kojiro, who was struggling so hard. And in return, gets a counter gank for it. The big difference there was simply that Sweet Rhyhorn had the vision control. So as soon as Ultralex started coming up, that was when XXD was able to go, yeah, you know, I'll show my face up there as well. And they've actually walked away with a kill for it.
And he's 24 to 10 CS up at this point. Ultralex has fallen off because he's not farming. He was camping the lanes. His bot lane gank worked out, but he stuck around for a little bit more. Burned Defilement's flash, so yes, he now has about 2.5 minutes to go back down to that bot lane. Otherwise, that flash was used in vain. Defilement's still got a half time on it, but there's a heal there as well.
It was Vayne last game.
Yeah, so it's a harder lane to gank. Now there's traps as well.
Yeah, but no, you are completely right. He does need to cycle down to that bot lane while Caitlyn's flash is still down. I believe Zyra's flash is still down, but yeah, completely right with what you said. Ultralex put so much time and effort into these ganks, he slipped off on the CS, and XXD has been able to push ahead on the CS and has actually got a kill as well. We're starting to see the similar issues last game, where Emma Gets Stoned is playing pretty well, Heliosynth is really playing well, and Seaborn once again putting out some incredible support play. Ultralex is finding it hard to keep up because he's desperately trying to babysit as many people as he can, and Kojira, just through poor farming and very poor vision control again, is starting to slip off already.
Well, Ultralex is closing that gap a little bit, but now the bot lane's getting pushed in super hard, so this is now Ultralex. He needs to get that wave pressure. That's Kojira actually trading at the right time. Well, he's got no minions against him, and he's got his minions to back him up for the damage, so that wasn't so much of a wasted trade there.
No, of course. One thing that is interesting to note is the first Drake of this game is the fantastic Infernal Drake. Both teams are going to be really looking to get their eyes on this one.
Well, Ultralex gets instantly spotted on a ward, and they peel away and then go back. So Ultralex looking for that gank, looking for that prime moment, but can't seem to find it. This lane pressure from the Caitlyn Zyra is just pushing Team Toke's bot lane in so hard. As Faz goes forward, has a steadfast presence. That's going to be a wasted ultimate from Kojira, but he is laying out the damage. The ultimate is returned against him, so not completely in vain.
Yeah, no, it did actually manage to get a lot of damage off that, bearing in mind he's only got the amplifying tone. But fact, at this rate that the CS is going, Kojira's going to hit the problem where he's building AP, and Fact is just going to out-tank everything he throws at him. A really good trade. The ult from Poppy pushing him away before he could finish her, but as you saw there, he wasn't able to put down quite as much damage as he would have wanted simply because of Fax's tank stats.
Yeah, and Kojira, very glad he didn't land that harpoon and waste Fax's back, because actually he instantly went into overheat, which meant the trade would not have gone well for him. Yeah, he is maxing E as well, so thank you for pointing that out for me.
Yeah.
So a weird max. I think he's just looking for that kind of farm.
Well, yeah, he's
Rumble,
using
but he maxed the Q.
Yeah, he's using the E to farm, and the reason he's having to do that is because he was so far behind. To his credit, he's pulled the CS up quite
Speaking
reliably.
of credit, Ultralex is here. Ultralex has ultimate. He flashes forward. That's going to be the curse of the sad mummy as Heliosynth lands the stun, lands the auto attacks, and secures himself a kill. He is going to get dropped by the plant, though. That was a shutdown onto Zodian. Heliosynth does get dropped. Ultralex unable to follow up as well, and once again Defilement seems to get out on absolutely next to no health.
They're going to try and get the dragon from this. They're going to really try and get something out of it. This is the objective control we did not see in that last game.
And XTXD's top lane, so there's no way they can really worry about it getting taken back, but obviously this ward control is meaning they don't actually know exactly where he is, so they're all a little bit scared of it.
And Rise is hitting the tower all this time. There is a lot being burned for this. Brom gets in the way of that. The towers are being chipped down by Ray and Knight, but they are going to be able to get the Infernal Drake for that. So they got a kill in the bot lane. Lucian did get taken down. However, actually, Caitlyn did not get anything for it. There was no assist coming out from that. And they did also manage to get the Drake. They didn't lose the tower. They are going to lose the red buff on the top side there, unless Malphite gets slapped down by it. No. I was getting a little bit worried there. He does manage to get out with the Heliosynth, when he's on his own in this lane, is just getting it pushed into him. He actually burns the culling altogether just to get rid of the wave there. And Team Toke are definitely more objective focused this game, but they're still slipping into these problems of just this really nice mechanical meta game that Sweet Rhyhorn is putting out is just eluding them.
Yeah, and again, Kojiro starts to trade with Faz while he's got his shield on. So he picked up the buckle, and then Kojiro goes forward for the trade. Now going forward one more time, takes a buckle out of her face, and loses the trade.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see the day when a Poppy was going to outpoke a Rumble. But hey, these Surrey Esports is where we're going to come to see all these world firsts.
Kojiro get fed week 1 and then completely fall off week 2. Ultralix is now in that bot lane, and he is going to get spotted by Faz because XDXD
over
is
the wall.
Keep in mind they're going to get screwed up. There's the unstoppable onslaught. There's the hammer coming down. Ultralix manages to not get dropped. Kojiro wasting his ultimate very, very late there.
Ultralix charging up to the Ultralix stopping the hammer was actually one of the things that killed him. He should have been trying to get in the way and hoping that Poppy was going to foolishly cast into him. By jumping forward with the stun, he did actually get caught by it. And what was wrong in that top lane? Once again, really poor vision control.
Emma gets stoned, just got completely destroyed in that mid lane trade there. This is the kind of point about Rises when he gets on top of you, when he gets that kind of starts to get that scaling. He's got the tier, he's got the catalyst, so he's not quite there yet, but snares up, Emma gets stoned, and then the new Rise rework, he actually has a lot of burst damage more than like what he used to do is he just used to constantly liquefy people and just switch targets.
Yeah.
But now all the ways new
turret
works, he just starts like he just shreds through you and backs off. It's not quite so just constant turret rise. Machine gun rise.
Yeah, machine gun rise. The interesting thing about Sweet Rhyhorn is we're seeing these like almost like frayed knots about them where, you know, in that fight in the top lane they were winning it and Fax started.
Let me get stoned. One trade throws out the Chaos Storm, but that's gonna be Aurelion Knight's flash to safety and Ghost.
Did manage to get the flash, yeah, but we're starting to see these and the Ghost, yeah, did manage to
Ultralix coming over, really good wolf. That's going to be the ultimate thrown down as the Curse of the Sad Mummy doesn't quite hit Defilement. Don't want to chase too much. They keep picking off the support, but not Defilement. Defilement's actually up in CS because he's doing a really good job of avoiding the damage.
He is
Unstoppable
up in
Onslaught is now available to XDXD, and I think we're going to see a flash come forward. He does manage to splash it as XD does get the shutdown. Does get shut down as well.
Really strong play from Emma Gets Stoned. Really good reaction flash there coming out. And that was because the vision picked up Malphite as he was on his way. So he knew it was going to happen when it came out. Fax is going to TP down to that bot lane. This is where Kojiro needs to push out and just get some farm as soon as possible.
Yeah,
really
wasted
pull up.
TP there.
Yeah.
I think they were scared that the farm might get tower dive.
Well, I mean,
because the Sad Mummy wasn't available.
It wasn't, no, but Defilement does not have flash, so we've only been able to have the 90 caliber net, and when you've got bitten by the Winter's Bite, that's going to stop you. Ultralix once again coming in for that fish hook. They're so far under tower though that there's no point, and he needs to get back into the jungle. He's catching up on farm, and then he's using a lot of time in these lanes. Really strong gangs. What I was going to say before that team fight is we're seeing the rough edges on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn. There's been so many fights where weird things are happening. All the times XD has dived under towers. In that top lane, Malphite got that sort of award-winning ult over the wall, and Fax started charging up the hammer. Some really odd decisions coming up that almost seem a bit frantic, a bit panicked.
Well, look at Kojiro's build as well. He's built the Giant's belt, so kind of getting a little bit tanky. Went for the Leandries and then stopped at halfway.
Stopped at the Haunting Guys.
Yeah.
So one of the worst things you can do in League of Legends is just have bits of items that never get finished. I understand what he's doing. He's meeting the tank stats, but to be honest, a lot of these tank stats,
that's actually going to be the fireman gets half health. That was the Thunderlords on Heliosynth. Not running that lifesteal, not running the Warlord's Bloodlust, but the burst is capable of
war
putting
burst.
Yeah.
And we saw it there, dropping down to half health. Tangling roots do go out, and everything's just going a little bit wide. Heliosynth, once again, playing really strongly in this bot lane. They're finding themselves pushed in a lot, but we were mentioning early in the game, this is a lane dominant trade. Initiating into the minion line with the Flame Spitter again, nothing really comes out from it, and he's losing so much CS because he's basically weakening these minions for his own minions, and he's slipping slowly. And
Kojiro gets overheated, starts to win the trade, and then once again doesn't peel off, overstays every trade. That seems to be his biggest weakness here. And again, he goes for a trade just to stake the buckle. He's going to have to use his ultimate, and actually now Faz, standing on top of the ultimate, does manage to knock him up. The Flame Spitter's there, the minions are there. Kojiro could turn this around. It does get overheated. trades 1 for 1 there. Not completely a waste, but not completely the best.
What we're talking
Cancel
about,
an auto
it's
attack.
it's those rough edges from Sweet Rhyhorn. Really, really weird play. And now you see Ultralex going for another game. Here we go!
Lands the rat. There's the ultimate chain once again as XD is coming down. It's going to be the flash. Aurelian Knight managed to hop forward, and that's going to be Sam Steven getting unstoppable onslaughted in. This Defilement takes him down with a hilt over Peacemaker. Heliosynth looking for trying to save his support there.
Yeah, Runic Echoes has been picked up into his Malphite, so he is hitting like a dump truck when he comes in.
Gonna get Stone's a little bit late on the punch here, and now he's gonna get pinned out. Gonna get pinned in place and gonna get dropped by XDXD. I said call him XDXD, it's XXD.
XXD, yeah. Yeah, some really interesting plays from both teams. They're just very, very loose around the edges. So close. That fight in the top lane with Fax, I'm going to get cut off here.
Ultralex is going to come in one more time as he takes a headshot to the face. That's going to be the headshot. Heliosynth can't take it because he knows he'll get dropped for it. Ultralex, that was very greedy.
Rare slip for Ultralex though. He just
Ultra slips.
Ultra slips, yeah. Because you're in this top lane. Fax played that last fight really well. Charging Kojira back into the equalizer was really what led to Fax's death. The equalizer does a huge amount of damage, and even with a Spirit's Visage, you don't want to be fighting in it. You can see after that last fight, Kojira's gone, wait a minute, I can build AP, and has gone straight back to that needlessly large rod.
He's got multiple items now. None of those 3 items work together unless he builds into the Crystal Scepter. Which I assume that's what he will be building, actually. Yeah, I made a point and then realised it was a really stupid point because I was forgetting, but needlessly large rod's not part of Zhonya's anymore.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I mean, the thing is as well, he's left himself for that haunting guy. So I see what you mean. He's half building things and then he's moving on to something. It's kind of like me when I tried to do coursework, just half do it and move on to something else. Let's not talk about my school life, shall we? Looking to come forward here, Emma gets stoned.
Don't go to school anymore, you're too old for it.
Oh God, kill me. Fax and Kojira are once again training hard. Fax, for a Poppy going into a rumble, is just pushing forward so hard. Kojira should not be cowering this far under tower. He's going to get pushed down.
That's going to be everything thrown down, and Faz manages to slay Kojira. Once again, the ward's letting him down. He has 1 ward on the map, and it's not where XDXD came from. And it looks like the first tower of the game will drop in top lane. They're going to get themselves first tower blood here.
Yeah, that ward positioning, let's have a talk about that because it's in River. XXD has only ganked from River once in this game. Every other time, it's been from somewhere other than River. So putting that ward in River is really completely pointless, especially if your technique is going to be to cower under your tower. Whereas on the side of Sweet Rhyhorn, look at the positions of their wards and their control wards. They've gone, right, where has Ultralex ganked from?
Faz is just going to find Ultralex. XXD is there, but I don't think Kojira is going to make it in place. The Curse of the Sad Mummy is a little bit wasted. Let's see if the Equalizer can land on enough people. Kojira flashes over, and he is burning through the full AP Malphite. AP Malphite does a lot of damage, but is also extremely squishy.
Yeah, and that's the problem that XXD ran into in the last game. It just wasn't, unfortunately, wasn't answered quick enough. Is that in these fights, just really doesn't do a lot. Once again, Emma gets stoned really slow on the pickup. The party was last week, mate. Go back to your lane and try and just get some CS for yourself.
Once again, Heliosynth upping kills, down in CS though, and just down in lane pressure. Defilement's doing a fantastic job of just pushing him back. And now this top the top and jungle comp is just going to shut down Ultralex. Faz putting the damage out, and Azradian is going to have to run as a Peacemaker.
This is the problem with focusing so heavily on the... is that you're just leaving Caitlyn to do what Caitlyn does best, which is to sit at the back and pop miles away.
And Stone's going to find Aurelian Knight in there.
Both
of them just trade each other to half health, and does pop Aurelian Knight's ghost. He also had the Thunderlord, so it was a little bit of a... Not Thunderlord, sorry. I can't remember the name of the ability now. Get back to me on that. And
that's fine, absolutely. Kojira making a similar mistake to Emma gets stoned and just showing up late and then staying around.
Storm Raider Surge. So actually, Aurelion Knight wastes his goes because he had enough to pop the Storm Raider Surge.
Yeah.
So he had that movement speed, but he pops the goes because he's a little bit scared of Emma getting stoned.
It's the respect goes.
I know that Emma Stone didn't have that ultimate. Kojira is there in that top lane, in that mid lane as well, as Emma Stone's just taking Q after Q, trying to bait forward to Aurelion Knight.
The kill and gold differential in this game is once again hugely,
Emma!
Hugely in the favour of Sweet Rhyhorn.
Yeah, massively. Sweet Rhyhorn just doing a really good job of objective control. They lose a couple of kills early. They have a couple of weak showings, and then they just seem to shore them up in the game. They seem to fix it up. Seems to be Team Toke's weakness is they get ahead and then they kind of snowball with it, or they don't, and then that throws them. If they go like, hey, looking at the scoreboard, we were up in kills earlier. How did we go down so fast? Because they got cocky with their kills, because they got cocky with their play.
Once again, this build from Kojira is just
he's building crystal scepter first.
But it's just all over the place, and he's not farming enough. You see him right now just wandering between lanes back and forth. He's a bit of a golem in the forest at the minute, but he's not got enough power behind him to be deadly or scary. So you see him in the forest, like they've done before, they just beat him up.
Well, now it looks like Zion's going
very early
in play. Gravity Surge isn't quite there as Emma Stone flashes forward, throws down the Siphoning Strike, but the knock-up is there. Can Emma Stone land the laser? Yes, he can. Now it's Defilement next up in line. The Siphoning Strike lands. There's going to be the net. Sam Seaborn's going to come in play. XD misses the shot as Heliosynth looking for the kill, throws out the ultimate, and now Heliosynth all alone. Going to get completely crushed by the AP damage of XD. Heliosynth gonna get taken down for the double kill on XD. 6-1 on jungle AP Malphite.
Team Toke did this last time. They invested a lot in the tiny scraps that fell off the table of Sweet Rhyhorn. They pushed so far forward to get a kill in that last fight.
Oh, XD is gonna find it. Ultralex. Ultralex flashed forward, lands the E. XD does take a lot of tower damage.
It does take a huge amount of tower damage
because he's squishy.
Yeah, I mean a lot better tower dive from him from this game. He's not fell folly to towers quite so much in this game. But yeah, they chase so hard for these scraps that are falling off the table, and because of that, yeah, okay, they did get Zyra again, who's really not worth anything. They did get Defilement, who again isn't actually worth a lot.
Well,
but then they also both
though.
died in that fight as well, just further feeding the war machine of Sweet Rhyhorn here.
And again, they managed to finally get Defilement, but at the cost of Heliosynth getting shut down, at the cost of a tower not being able to get dropped because everyone was killed.
Yeah, and it's the same issues they ran into last game. And
Faz is just going to look for something, but Ultralix has pinned him in place, throws down the curse of the sad mummy.
The sweet mummy, he is in this game, you're right.
He's going to take Faz to half health for the sake of a tower defense, and now that's an ultimate down.
A really, really big ultimate is going to be helpful against down. Once again, Emma gets stoned. It's just late to her own birthday party once again, just showing up so late into the exam. Ultralex has got caught, unable to move under the tide of
pinned in
CC.
place. Faz does manage to get CC'd and takes a tower shot for his trouble, but he's so tanky. Got the Iceborne Gauntlet, got the health. He just doesn't seem to get even scratched by these turrets anymore.
Read the map. Kojira needs to spot that they've left mid lane and just be where they are powering up top, and he is going to use TP to get into the mid lane.
He did take a tower as well for it, so it's not completely the end of the world.
It's not completely the end of the world. What worries me is I have a feeling he just TP'd to mid lane because that's where everyone was. He once again
for safety because
no wards.
He knew they communicated that they were coming up top. He knew if he recalled, he might not have got out. Ultralix flashes over, misses the bandage toss, doesn't have the curse of the sad money this time, and Defilement manages to take out Heliosynth, lands the net, lands the double kill. Defilement going off on the Caitlyn.
The Firelock Cannon and the Runan's Hurricane is able to put down
Rapid Fire
much. Rapid.
You've called it that name since the beginning of that item. Kojira takes an unstoppable onslaught, has to flash away to safety. XD knows that he actually doesn't quite have the damage to follow it up as Emma gets stoned. That's going to be the Visual Fisher for the kill. Emma gets stoned, narrowly living there.
That was like a WWE steel chair to the back of the head there. Using the ult to kill secured. He's probably typing in chat right now. Managed to actually, to be fair, did save Get Stoned from Defilement there, who did crouch down to use the Piltover Peacemaker. Probably should have just kept up on those auto attacks. The delay in between using the Peacemaker was what really got it. Another tower, falling across the map, and Aurelian Knight is moving forward once again. Kojira does finally have that Raleig's Crystal Scepter, but they are now going to lose that Infernal Drake.
And that's actually the first Infernal Drake for the side of Sweet Rhyhorn. And now it looks like Emma gets Stone and Sweet and Sam Seaborn gonna look for Aurelian Knight, but they're not gonna quite find him. Faz gonna try and push this mid lane in. Heliosynth is there to defend.
Once again, the warding to be fair, we've tore into Kojira a lot over it, but in general, the warding on the side of Team Toke has been very, very slack.
Faz isn't really gonna take any damage because Heliosynth has absolutely no armor pen. He's gone for that 0 armor pen build. The Essence Reaver does give a little bit of armor pen, but it's not like Ghost Blade Black Cleaver, so he's not going to be able to shred through tanks like the lethality build that you get on Lucian normally. So switching into that late game kind of carry build does now sacrifice the ability to shred through tanks earlier on in the game. And he's gone for the Quicksilver Sash because he's just so scared of the CC they can put down on him. So scared that he'll get killed once again.
Yeah, Quicksilver Sass to just stop them, just hurling the CC at him and just hitting him down. They're so slow on their rotations as well. Every time they show up in the lane, someone's disappeared. Kojira spots XXD on his way back in the mid lane, and they're being out-rotated again. Ultralix cannot go into Caitlyn alone, but they also can't afford to leave Caitlyn alone. She has her rapid fire cannon, she has the Ruinous Hurricane, and she has the Infinity Edge. She's putting out a shed ton of damage and attack speed. She is going to be deadly to let get to a tower right now.
They are just running Team Toke around the map as Faz just decides actually he's going to go for the tower. Kojira is gone for that mixed build, so he doesn't have any magic penetration, and Faz is just going to take down the tower. He loses half his health for it, but takes Kojira's ultimate as XD comes in. So is Ryan. That's going to be the Proto Belt forward to secure the kill. Kojira 1 and 5 on the Rumble, not completely comfortable on this character.
Just poor warding again. He took that fight with Flax, and Flax stood in that ult.
Oh my goodness! Defilement defiles reality and just crits the face off, and now he's going to get Glacial Fission in place. The shield's there, Defilement won't die.
Heal saves that tower there. Really nice attempt to answer there, but Heliosynth just lost all his health on his initiate, so he didn't even get a chance to proc that Winter's Bite. This game is really just, the momentum is so in favour.
Well, the 10,000 gold. They have the tempo advantage, they have the tower advantage, they have the gold advantage, they have the item advantage, they even have the scaling advantage. Team Toke having some troubles now, and I don't think they're going to be able to pull it back. I feel like this will be the 2-0 on them, unfortunately.
Unless they can really pull their socks up and get into a better position for a team fight. They
can't team fight. There's no team fight for them. They need the only thing they can look to do is go for a map play. They have to trade towers for towers to get themselves some gold, so then maybe they can fight later. There is no team fight they will win at this point. The XD, yes, he's quite squishy on the AP Malphite, but he's enough team fight for them. Defilement is putting so much damage out. You saw what one crit did to Heliosynth.
Oh, it was horrible.
The team fight is not a thing that they can look to do anymore, but they keep looking for it.
This is what they would want to look for. The three of them there, they don't have the damage, and they're just being out-rotated on the map.
Eno got Stone's full combo, barely chipped through Faz's shield. Actually, I don't think it did chip through it at all.
He's got a Spirit's Visage, and that's it.
Lands another crit, but there's no magic penetration. The problem that they're running here is they're running absolutely no magic penetration in this game, and that's going to be really not using the ultimate to get onto the Baron pit. There's no wards on the Baron, and they are probably going to not only just about start to figure this out. So
they're now realizing that people had left, and they're just still no answer. We get to 1,000 health, 100 health. The Baron Nashor falls to Sweet Rhyhorn, and Team Toke are still just shifting around in their own lane.
Now
Defilement
the
actually
Fireman
goes
just found the
forward.
person he can get. The Chaos Storm's there, but the crit is there. Looks like the Glacial Fissure is going to come out, and that actually cancels out the Piltover Peacemaker. Ultralix with a cheeky steal there. Emma gets
Secured,
does get out
secured.
alive.
That's what we say, secured. Really, really poor move from Defilement. Came forward, yeah, okay, took a lot of damage, but Brom excels at stopping projectiles, and standing around in that Chaos Storm is really, really poor. The real problem in that fight was came forward on her own, and this is that rough edge that Sweet Rhyhorn does tend to show in these games, and it's really, really not working for them.
Yeah, still the
haunting guys, yeah, completely right call.
Oh, XD goes forward, actually misses every dash he can possibly get there. Massive waste. Yeah, he's gone for the magic pen boots to be able to get around a bit faster. He wants that kind of magic pen he can do, but it literally, it's just not doing enough as Faz can't even get that damage by him get stoned there. He's just looking to trail under tower. Ultralix lands the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 2, but the Zarya Wild Growth is enough to knock him up. That's going to be the redemption, making sure Aurelion Knight's nice and healed as Ultralix is going to get dropped very shortly. XXD finds Sam Seabird, finds Heliosynth, doesn't quite have his ultimate available to him as the Rift Passion comes through. He's in the back line, Ever gets stoned, gets knocked off, gets popped up, is not going to get quite dropped yet as Aurelion Knight looking for it. The hammer shot comes down one more time and Faz throws the buckle for the kill. Sam Seabird next to get dropped. That's going to be the double kill onto Faz's Poppy, and it's now Kojira under tower looking to potentially give away the triple kill. He is not tanky at this point. That's going to be the ace. That's going to be Sweet Rhyhorn with their Baron buff pushing down the towers, probably taking the Nexus.
They have the Baron
the
buff,
death timers are far too long for them to actually put any defense in. They won't win the game off this push, but they will take absolutely everything.
It's a horrible, horrible state of affair. Ultralix pushing forward. They're gonna recall, give him the respect of that, get back to lane. Aurelion Knight can stick around and fight. He pops the Banshee's Veil straight away, and look at that. A quarter of the health gone already. That was a really odd set of decisions by a lot of people in that fight, but one of the worst ones, unfortunately, was Ultralix.
If the Farman can go 1v1 against Heliosynth.
Oh no!
Screws up so hard.
Just pours it out into the shooting into the Twitch chat at this point in the game, just trying to silence the criticism. In that last fight, really poor move by Ultralix. He put the Curse of the Sad Mummy down before anyone was there to help.
Oh, that was so bad. That's going to be a knockup. Faz is going to get pinned in place by the Gravity Field. Is going to hop forward onto Ultralix. Slams him down. Let's see if he's going to get anything. No, he does get shut down because he was against 4, so a little bit of a waste.
X can give it to you!
He's going to go and that actually was Ever Stone staying alive for so long. The Fireman is there. The Fireman has the damage. He's going to pump it out. The headshot's 1. That's going to be 2. Ace in the hole was a little bit of a waste as the redemption comes out. Look at the healing that redemption can do. Kojira takes one to the back of the head. Gets shut down. I think this is it. This is the base going to go down. Fireman is playing so good in this series, and he might be the player to keep your eye on for the next set as he just crits the face off of Helios.
He wants more! He wants more!
Shut down onto Radiant, and that's going to be the Nexus turret going down, and the Nexus exposed. This is it. This is Sweet Rhyhorn taking the portal, maybe not, onto the base, take down the base, and that is Sweet Rhyhorn taking out Team Toke in the semi-finals. We will see you not next week actually, the week after for the finals. GG.
Such a good set of fights from Sweet Rhyhorn. They didn't have quite as shaky an early game. Did manage to come out and really sort of show them how it goes, and then ironed out those rough edges over towards the end. You were right with what you said. Defilement has played so well this series, and that Caitlyn was such a snug fit for him. He fits into the team brilliantly. XXD was allowed to go so hard for so little tank, but really for me, Defilement just embodied the real sort of spirit of Caitlyn, if you will, just constantly in the right position. Yeah, Zyra did die a lot of times, but because Zyra was always the one to stand forward and say, look at me, grab me, not Caitlyn, Caitlyn was able to get ahead on CS and just able to do so much. Ended up getting a QSS for herself as well, so she identified the problem she might face and prepared for it as well.
Yeah, they on the vein as well. I was actually playing really well.
Yeah.
It's a very reserved player. Didn't really get too many kills, then suddenly just goes out of nowhere. Just literally just completely drops off and goes crazy. I say drops off, I mean goes crazy.
Drops in.
Drops into the game, just AFK farms, gets his advantages and just goes for it. Game 1 looked very even. This second game was just not even. Team Toke seemed off form against Sweet Rhyhorn there. Well, guys, with that Sweet Rhyhorn, actually, no, MVP. Before I do the closing, MVP.
Tears starting to fall there. MVP is actually going to be Defilement. He did, we mentioned it, you probably saw it come. He played so well. He did so much. He did more damage than almost. In fact, he did more damage than Brom, Lucian, and Amumu all together. He did more damage than Victor. And he actually did more damage than Victor and Rumble put together. So he just put so much damage to him. And that comp was almost completely drafted to, hey, look at me over here. Don't go after Caitlyn. And just sitting on that grassy knoll on the back, just constantly popping away with the Runan's Hurricane.
Everyone was kind of going into Kojiro. I could see the chat for his Rumble build. But if you want to know a horrible stat, Rumble actually out-damaged Lucian that game. Heliosiv actually just sat back and didn't really do a lot. He got lots of early kills and then just kind of fell off. With that, guys, we'll now do the final. Thank you so much for watching tonight, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Where Big Surrey got knocked out. No, it is Big Surrey. BT Dreams. Yes. I can't remember.
There's going to be games.
There's games tomorrow. I've not done my research, so I can't remember who's playing. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back at 7 o'clock. We might give you a little bit of a warning. We may be doing a drinking game. We will have Ultralix with us as well here tomorrow evening. So he's going to come in and watch and maybe a couple of drinking games. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
See you later.
Coming like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.